Welcome to Prana Talk TV. This is Elitom El-amin.
And Shana Dean.
Enjoy the show.
Hi, Elitom. How are you today?
Oh, wonderful. It's such a beautiful day like always. Oh my gosh.
It is. And where you are is so gorgeous. Look at those clouds and the sunlight coming down.
Voila. Perfect environment, perfect day, perfect body. Now, since I brought up that perfect body, a lot of people probably look at this broadcast and say, what are you talking about? I need a trade in. And that's understandable. And then some people probably kind of shake their head and say, okay, I can see that. Because when you deal with the Breatharian knowledge, it usually catches two types of people. It catches spiritual people because they look at the, wow, being closer to God, expanding my consciousness. So it catches those people's attention, but it also catches athletic type people who does know something about the body, pushing the body. But the thing about the spiritual people, they don't know much about the body. And the thing about the athletic type people, they know a lot about the body, but they don't know about the spirituality and the energetics of it, which makes a whole difference on giving you another perception on how to look at something. So I'm glad how me and you hooked up because we're more rooted down to earth and it's so practical because you need both of them to come together. Right. I was talking to somebody just yesterday and they brought up spirit, but it was a younger person, but we took away that word and started talking about energy because this is the age we're in and you got that generation who's growing up in it. They can understand that the radio is going through their body. YouTube and all the social medias is going through their body as they're sitting in a room, whether if you got your device set up or not. So now when you start explaining spirituality, it makes more down to earth sense. So when we take it over into the Breatharian knowledge and what you can do with human potential, it opens up a whole door.
Oh, exactly. And even if you're not that familiar with spirituality, going on this path is going to open you up. So even if you are the athletic type and you're more focused on the body, it's pretty difficult to go on this journey and not start noticing spirit. You start noticing your own higher intuition, your own knowledge. You start getting these beautiful messages and downloads, and it just takes you in that direction anyway. So it naturally kind of merges, I think.
Right. And see, this is what the holistic message was always talking about. Mind-body connection. That's health. And we as humanity, we got to say it. And even on the Breatharian journey, we're even coming into more knowledge where we're learning a lot more, even though I've been on here 20 years, we really don't know the fullness of health yet. I mean, the really fullness of a mind-body connection and also with nature. That's a whole nother ballgame.
You know, I was just thinking of that today. I think it's really awesome that we're having this talk. Of course, we're in alignment because we usually are.
Right.
There's so much that we scientifically don't understand about the body. We don't even fully understand what our pineal gland does.
Right.
It's only thinks it creates melatonin to help us sleep, but it does so much more than that. We don't even, doctors don't even know what the tonsils do or the appendix. I mean, think about it. We have organs in our body that doctors are just like baffled by.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then of course we have our digestive system, which we use one way, but we can use it another way. And science hasn't scratched on that yet because we haven't hit our potential. Oh, the other thing is the majority of our brain, science doesn't even know what it does. It's called, call it like, and our DNA is called junk DNA for the DNA they don't know what it does.
Right, just named it junk. Okay,
right, junk. I mean, there's so much we don't know about the human body and we're just scratching the surface of our health and our capability, our potential as human, spirit, energetic beings.
And I'm glad how you're saying this, and we're not putting down science or the medical field. We're not doing that. That's like an appreciation on how much we need to know. See, it's a shame when a person thinks they know everything. And right now, even the sciences, the medical field, spiritual people, every day, we talk about this human potential. And if we're saying we're living in a field of potentiality, that means it's dormant. We don't know. That means it opens up a whole nother avenue or where we could grow, and you should be excited about it.
It's so exciting. I mean, and that's why I love this path so much, because it just propels you on this new path of totally different potential. And oh my gosh, we can do so much more than you
So
think
much more.
you can do. In our last video, we talked about the human body as it is being compared to like a jalopy, right? That's fallen apart versus a spaceship. When you start running on the higher pranic levels, it really is like that. And most people aren't operating spaceships, you know?
Right, absolutely. And that's something where you could get, where what makes it good is that you can upgrade. See, this is what spirituality was talking about, a transformation. And this is what the athletic mind understands. Where they at now, if you're an athlete and stuff, you wasn't like that when you started. You started out with 10 pounds, you moved up to 30 pounds, you moved up to 50 pounds. So even when we teach the Breatharian message, what we talk about mainly is consistency. You have to be consistent to make any type of transformation, whether if it's dense physical, emotional, and even mental.
Yes.
It's
And you
consistency to change yourself.
will receive upgrades along the way. I guarantee it.
Absolutely.
Just happens. I mean, you will get intuitive nudges, you know what to do, you'll get new information, just drops right in. You're functioning at a higher level. You're hooked into, I mean, I always say your higher consciousness, and really what is that, right? A lot of people have no sense of what that is. Their words, it's a concept, but it's, and I know you like to call it the light.
Right, right.
You're hooked into the light. So whether you call it God or the light or your higher consciousness, it's all synonymous, but you're hooked into a higher state of knowingness and beingness with such pure clarity.
Oh, without a doubt. And see, and even on my own journey, there's something I don't talk about the different mind changes I had to go through or put myself through. Now, one of them was, of course, I grew up in a gym working out and stuff like that. I had that part together. Okay, you do curls, you do bench presses, you work on your legs. I understand that. So I always was in that mode on one level. And then the next level I had to learn is when, because I was a minister in the church, so I did take religious books and I made sure I read all the way through them so I could get an understanding of what people are talking about, especially if you're going to be teaching that message. But when I started becoming in the breatharian journey, it made me start to combine that. I knew I was overweight once upon a time, and I said, I know better than this. So that got me into the arena to start learning more about what I'm putting in my body and what time. Immediately I went there. And then that took me into the arena to start learning meditation and stuff. But there's something else that I went through, what I don't say, and this might help people. Now, since I had the religious spiritual idea, I purposely went into learning what atheists was talking about, agnostics was talking about, with no judgment. And I had to break that out of my mind to stop being spooky about stuff. That's why I talk so practical now. We don't need to make it mythical that, oh, God will take care of it, and you're still sitting there eating a sandwich, you know, that's hurting you. So it brought me down to earth to stop using and start crying about something, knowing I can take care of it. And then as I went into my full round also, I started putting away the spiritual books, and I started picking up medical books to learn, what is the cell talking about? What is a cell? What is your heart? How many chambers? What did the veins? Where did the arteries go? This took me to a whole nother ball game, to where I remember with Supreme Master Ching Hai, that's when I really started, you know, learning more about other breatharians, and I started getting really out there. People started learning about me. She went around the world getting all the people that was on Prana. That was like the first launch. And some people called me from Europe and said, you're the only one talking on that level. Everybody else was still talking spiritual, relating it to breatharianism. You know, no put down, that's how everybody was coming. But I started coming with E equals MC squared. Your system of energy held together by thought, and went deeper into it on a practical level. And that's what caught people's attention. And that's what the younger generation especially want to hear now.
Right, because it's so user friendly. You don't, well, you find the spiritual stuff along the way, but you have to have some practical sense about it and what the are and what you can expect. And when you're on this path, you do find you become more interested in the human anatomy. It's interesting really fascinating because you will notice that there are changes that happen in your body. And
Right.
yeah, big time changes. And you'll notice there are energy changes. And each organ has energy, and you can place your attention and your consciousness in different areas within your body to kind of ignite and wake up the organs in your body. And this has a lot to do with Qigong and other energy work. And it all goes hand in hand because our bodies, we have energy bodies and physical body. It's overlaid. So you can't completely discount the energy body, right? And that's why I like acupuncture and Reiki, what I practice, because you're working with the meridian lines and the chakras and things like that. And it all goes hand in hand.
Yep. And see, and this is a good age we live in because more of the energy body, even in the scientific medical field, is being documented and brought to the forefront. Yoga is just more than stretching. It's a science behind it. You know, to open up that psoas muscle. A lot of people have lower back problems. So now we could go straight to the point. You know, that psoas muscle connects the lower spine to the thigh and all of this stuff. And opening that up brings a bigger influx of energy that betters the health. So like you said, just being on this path, it will lead you in to learn more about the body.
Yeah, really.
But what people make their mistake is they'll grab the current knowledge of what they say glucose is supposed to do and stuff like that. Okay, that's part of the red tape that comes along with it. That hasn't been changed yet. You understand? As knowledge is coming through. And we got so much different information to grab the level you're at. But at least learn where the organs are located at on your body. That's the message I want to give people. Know where your bladder is at, your heart is at, the diaphragm. Know this stuff.
I could not agree more. Yes, know it. Know where your small intestines are, your colon, your stomach, your kidneys, your adrenal glands, your pineal gland. Look up the diagram of the brain. Look up the diagram of the body. Because you can work with those organs and your body on an energetic level along this path. Even Dr. Oz, like years ago, he made a statement on one of his shows. He says, you know, the future of medicine is energy medicine.
Right. He knows that.
Is, right?
And that's just where we're going.
This is where
this breatharian message shouldn't scare nobody who's listening to this broadcast. The future is medicine is going to the energy field because that is our foundation. And this makes more sense what meditation was always talking about. Whether if you're dealing with visualization, chanting, breath work, all of those are working with energies to clear up blockages. This is what we've been talking about, but now it makes more sense. So you can love and get to know why you're doing this. You're doing it for health.
Yes, and it puts your health in your own hands. I mean, you can come to someone like me who practices Reiki, right? You can also heal yourself with your own consciousness because it has been proven, quantum science has proven that energy flows where consciousness goes. So if you place your consciousness and you focus on different parts of your body, you can send energy there, and using various visualizations and energy running techniques, you can completely cleanse and heal your body.
Absolutely.
That's part of the DNA that we don't know anything about yet. That's part of our brain that we don't know anything about yet.
Right.
Right.
And see, I'm glad you're bringing that up because there's one teacher and we say the teacher is inside. Okay. People love that. Ultimately, you heal yourself. The teacher is inside. But what an external teacher does, so you won't get too stubborn, because I met people that say, I'm not listening to nobody, but you need help. See, an external teacher should be one who helped jumpstart you because you're in trouble. It's sort of like your car battery is low and is going out, and somebody else comes along and give you a jump. But even though they got you a jump so you can get back on the road, then you got to do the maintenance and stuff to get a new battery in if needed, or take care of it so it won't happen again. So that's what an external teacher is. So like you said, when people come to you, you're like jumpstarting them because their battery is low, there's a blockage and they need help. So by listening to this message, this is what we're doing until you get strong enough and knowledgeable enough to take it to the other distance on where you need to go to come into your own self-realization.
Exactly. That's exactly how I feel in my practice. You know, I balance everyone's energy fields and I'm able to channel and find out what messages and what they need to be doing to maintain themselves, I can actually do that for the person. But it's best if they can learn to do it themselves. So we kind of do it together, right? And then I lay out an action plan. Okay, if you do this meditation, you chant this mantra, you do this, this is the result. Your chakras are gonna stay open. This particular trauma is gonna leave, you know, but you have to practice in your own time away from me, right? So you have to do that. And the more you do it and the more you get familiar with checking in with your body, the more you realize over time you don't need the practitioner to guide you. You're guiding yourself. And that's a higher level of healing. And that's where we're all headed on this pranic path. It's total liberation.
Total liberation.
Yeah.
And see, like a hospital is not even in my reality. That is heavy now, because when I came on the Breatharian path, I had a job that did have good medical insurance. And every year you had to go do your checkup so we could get a good premium. You know how it works. But being on the Breatharian path, I got so much confidence and I knew I can heal myself. That does not have to dictate my future, because there's a lot of people that are stuck at jobs because of the benefits. What if this happens to me? I don't know how to take care of myself and all this other stuff. And that's understandable. You're not there yet. But when you build confidence up that you are your medical field, it lowers that other thing that you thought you needed. And you went back to the basics and you're taking responsibility for yourself. You're your doctor.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because it brings up another little topic I want to mention. It's about having limitless thinking. As soon as you say to yourself, I have to stay in a situation that I may not thrive in or love because I might get sick and I need the insurance, right there you have put yourself in limited thinking. There's limits, and you're not trusting in yourself or in the universe to provide for you that you will heal or find the right healing modality when it's time, right? So there is a shift in perspective there. Anytime you catch yourself making a limited statement about your life, especially because we want liberation, we want total freedom, and we want to have trust in the divine and in the process. You know, like you go on your travels and you don't worry about whether you're going to have things, because you know you can manifest it. People will bring you what you need as you need it. It's that kind of faith in yourself, your energy, your creativity as a being on this planet, and doing so with limitless thinking, because you really do thwart all of that beautiful creative energy if you limit yourself.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that up. So here we go again, mind-body connection. So it's 1 minute, one thing you're having is thinking where you're having trust in yourself, trust in the universe, but your body being your mind, the more it starts healing itself, grabbing more energy, it will manifest things a lot more quicker to you and give you what you need, even if you don't know you need it.
Right.
This is what you're living in this realm through this body.
It's amazing. It's just
oh my gosh. It is.
It's amazing.
And see, and sometimes, like we said, spiritual people, they read the spiritual books and they could get caught up by thinking too mythical, and we're trying to bring it back to earth. The reason why I'm saying this, because I brought up a thing yesterday. I was talking to some men about the sexual cultivation of their energy, you know. So of course, the spiritual books they read, they're automatically saying that this is what it's supposed to do because they read it. But I said, well, let's look at the anatomy of the, you know, testicles and see, is that possible? And when they looked at that's probably the first time they ever seen inside of their body of what's taking place and how the tubes go. So you read it wrong spiritually, you're caught into that cycle. Let's make it make sense to see where we could go from here to make that potential happen. And when I start explaining it to them on this, how it happens and you get the energy out of it, now we know not only we're talking the knowledge energetically, it matches your anatomy. This is what makes it real, and you'll have some progress.
That's right. That's right. So let's talk about anatomy a little bit.
Oh, man, right. Because you brought up something good to me earlier about the intestines.
Yes. So you have this very complex digestive system. You have your stomach, your intestines. I mean, it's even more than that, right? It's the liver and all that. But let's just talk about your digestive system, the intestines, colon, stomach. Think of that as a regenerating battery. That's what it is. it's amazing. It can create its own energy. Now, I don't know how it happens scientifically, but science has yet to prove it. The more people who go pranic, the more this will be studied, I'm sure of it.
Right.
And I think it's going to take a little bit of science, a little bit of quantum physics, you know, who knows what's going to do it, but
the whole thing.
The whole thing. But what I'm finding is that obviously we're hybrids. We can eat food and live off of that. And we can also not eat food, and that's also been proven, and live off just pure energy. Now, gosh, how should I put this?
Oh,
When
you're doing good.
Food is a lower vibration, obviously, than light, right?
Right.
Because it's more solid, dense, and earthy versus light and energy. Sometimes we eat food to self-medicate emotions that we have.
Right.
If you're having a tough day or tough emotion or you're stressed or whatever it is, you'll eat more. What you don't realize is when you do that, the food actually hovers at the same vibrational rate as this lower vibration emotion that you're having. So it locks it all into a lower vibe, which lowers the body vibration. Now, if you don't eat at all and you do some serious colon cleansing, detoxing, you're juicing, you're not putting in any solid foods, or you're just water fasting, you start to realize that without anything in your body, it's so much easier to hold a higher state of emotional well-being, happiness, gratitude, joy, because you don't have that heavy, low vibrational food weighing you down. The other thing I noticed, if I may continue,
you're doing good.
is that old traumas and emotions are stored in the gut. It's stored in the digestive system. And you've mentioned before, Elitom, that you just have to work on clearing the lower chakras and everything else will take care of itself.
Right.
As an energy worker, I thought, well, no, you really do have to clear everything. But as a pranic person, I realized the truth in that. Because as you start clearing those lower chakras, you start really working through your old traumas, your old issues and hangups, the things that are weighing you down. And as that stuff starts to energetically lift from you, you want less food and it's easier to live on light. And you start to regenerate and activate your body battery, which is your digestive system.
Right. This is awesome. And you know that saying that goes, stuff rolls downhill?
Yeah.
By us being these bipedal creatures, your digestive system is basically, you're like a donut. Your mouth is connected to your anus. You got this hole going right through you. So it's making this circulation going through there, but the gravity itself and the way we live and be a bipedal creatures, it automatically works itself down to go downward. Here we go now. Now, certain foods hold certain frequencies too. Like, that's why a lot of people talk about the fruits now. You know, you got a food that's holding 60% water. Watermelon, 80% water. And water is very good at cleansing the system and getting things moving through the system, which a lot of things stick in the system a lot longer.
And it conducts energy.
And it conducts energy.
Big
and
time.
A lemon is rated real high, just to bring that up. You could get one of those electrical meters and put it on a lemon and you can see it actually move. This just proved our point. And I remember back in 2015, there was some guy I met at a festival who was a scientist. They had this machine where when you measure a fruit that when it's on a tree, it has a certain frequency. Every day that it's off, the frequencies start going down. So you can actually get a fruit in a grocery store, depending on how long it had to travel there. Its energy is not like it when it first got picked off the tree.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you mentioned
totally different.
You mentioned that it goes down, right? The food goes down. When you're empty and you're in a high pranic state, your energy actually moves upward.
And the energy goes upwards.
It moves
up. It takes a lot of energy to digest the food. So when it does not have to do that job no more, it will work for you in different ways. That's why in spirituality, they got that pole with those serpents coming up. That's a schematic, basically, an electronic schematic that's showing you that the energy start moving upwards. But to get it to move upwards, you have to clear out all that junk.
Clear it out. Not just stop eating, but do some serious intestinal cleansing. Like that really, really helps.
And maintain that energy. So it's more than just cleaning yourself up, which that's good, but maintaining it to live a clean lifestyle where you don't let it get overpacked no more. You keep everything flowing, your metabolism change. And this is why exercise, you start appreciating it. That helps with your metabolism. That helps with blood flow. Mm-hmm. So learning your body again is very crucial in these stages.
I love it. I love it. It's amazing. It's amazing. I keep saying that because it really is. I don't even know what other word to say, but energy moves up, your kundalini moves up. And if, you know, if you end up having thoughts that are kind of heavy or weighing you down, or emotions, you can take a look at it and work with it, send energy to it, spin it. You can move it up. I mean, I specialize in this kind of work, right?
Oh, wow.
And as it leaves the body, you're lighter, and you can actually bring in more energy the lighter you become on an emotional level. So not cleansing physically, but cleanse emotionally, cleanse energetically.
Oh my gosh.
That's huge. You do that, you're just going to be a constant like beam of light that shines up towards the cosmos, you know?
Yep.
You really
Every
will.
retreat I have, people want to know about the emotional body. All the time. The emotions is a big one. Oh my gosh. Now, when I teach about the sexual cultivation, and this is proven too, just dealing with the medical field, you know how your sexual fluids will actually change their color, the way they taste, and the way they smell based on your lifestyle, based on what you're eating. Okay, this is number one. Now, if you're... Now, that's what I want to say. All your fluids, think about your blood. It's the same way, but we don't, you know, people don't talk about it much. It changes the way it looks, the way it flows. And one of the big things in the Western countries is what? High blood pressure. Oh, man. So this is what? The life is in the blood. See, this is when you bring the physical back to the scriptures again. Oh, the life is in the blood. Now it makes sense. Take care of your blood flow. Good blood flow is a healthy body. You got these veins and these arteries going through you. You can see them. Start getting that blood flow and stretch it and all this other stuff. You start loving the vehicle that you're in as you start watching it transform day by day.
Yes, and we are made of fluids. We have so many fluids in our body. We have
our
lymphatic system, or so much, right? Especially in our digestive system. All of that is a conductor for energy. All that holds light. I mean, our digestive systems are batteries. They really are. And that's why, like in Qigong, you focus on the Dantian, which is right at the navel.
It's a battery.
And that's the source of your power and your energy as you're working with it, right in the gut. However, you realize on this path that your entire body is the battery.
Yep, absolutely. Now, this is amazing. I met a young woman a couple of days ago, and she's in the modeling industry. And she's in the intermittent fasting. That's what attracted her to me, when she found out, oh, you know, this is what he does. So anyway, as we started talking, she said she was on all these diet changes being in the model industry, and she got tired of that. So she needed to pick something that would really fit her. So intermittent fasting caught her attention. And that's when you pick a time period throughout the day in order to eat instead of just eating whenever. So it builds up a discipline. Now, she said at first when she started it, it was difficult about the first week. But after that, it's like second nature, is part of her lifestyle. And I'm glad it came from this young lady to say that like that. And she said it made it different than going on a diet change. Those was hard to keep. But this still allowed her the freedom to eat, you understand? But also it built a discipline where it strengthened her mind and gave her more confidence in herself, that you can do that. And she said the thing about it, like her family and friends question her about that. You'll harm yourself, you're doing this, you're doing that, because they don't understand. But people usually do that out of love too, where they're your family and friends, and where you're doing that, because everybody's still been trained. You got to eat every day, 3 meals a day, and all this other stuff. So this is a whole nother paradigm shift that we're in. And it's easy to see somebody else who's not related to you doing it. But as soon as one of your family members do it that's close to you, oh, that's them, but you're going to hurt yourself. You can't do it. La,
right,
la, la, la.
right.
Wait a minute.
I know. But guess what, everybody? You don't have to eat every day.
Right.
Like
you don't have to eat every day.
Don't. In fact, there's even something now called alternate day fasting, where you eat every other day, and people are using that as a weight loss tool. So you don't need to eat every day.
And I'm glad you brought that up. Now, the young lady talking about how her family was acting with the intermittent fasting. So when I started telling her about, and I usually tell people to fast once a week, and we were just having a conversation. Once a week? So that shocked her right there. What that goes to, and I'm just saying once a week, but you don't have to eat every day.
You just don't.
This is awesome. You don't.
In fact,
so that's other levels of it. And you will get stronger over time when you come into this knowledge and you start really feeling the energy of things, how you feel, and you want to maintain this frequency. It will really become good when you don't need to eat every day. Yeah. This is awesome.
Yeah. And when we were talking about, changing the digestive system, making that switch from food over to just running purely on light and really generating or activating your body battery that way, your digestive system, and letting go of the emotional energy and stuff like that. When you start doing that, you can actually feel the prana from the natural environment around you more easily, and you can work with that, bring it to your body more easily, because you become a fine-tuned energy machine.
Right.
And you can utilize forces and feed off of it much more easily than you could before. So just the cleaner you are in every possible way, the stronger your prana will start to become.
Oh, absolutely. And these are the changes you'll see too with yourself. It's like right now we're talking here and I'm sitting in this beautiful view, but notice that I'm sitting in the sun. Now, back when I was on a bad diet, overweight, I would not be, I have to go look for some shade. I would have to sit there.
Right.
It would tear me up. But now you can maintain it a whole lot longer. You're not feeling it. Actually, your body craves it and then enjoys it. But that shows you that toxicity plays a big part in blocking energies. Don't make you enjoy it. Make you feel uncomfortable. And I remember years ago, this is way years ago, me and my friend, this was coming into the journey. We had a summer where we dedicated ourselves, we're going to eat fruit every day this summer. And that's when we noticed that change on that level, that we was maintaining the sun, having fun. And before, we did not have that going on at all because we became enemies of the sun. We needed to hide. We were getting hurt, all this other stuff. So you should be able, you'll notice these little things in your body, and that's what makes you have the joy to want to maintain and to keep going forward.
Right. And I'm so glad you brought up the raw food. I was just going to say the same thing, because when I switched over to raw food, primarily low-fat raw food.
Right.
You're eating majority fruits with some vegetables and greens. And when you're eating that way, the sun and you fall in love.
You'll fall in love.
It does not affect you in the same way. When I ate a lot of cooked food, I would get sweaty and hot and just super uncomfortable in my body, and everything felt too hot. But raw foodist or as a pranic person, you start realizing you could just sit right in the sun, and your skin handles the sun differently too. You don't burn, you become more glowy, you don't end up getting freckles, and all that sun damage doesn't happen because your body is in a natural state. That will happen on a raw food diet. And then anything lighter that you do will also. And
this goes back to what you're saying. We're energy beings, and your digestive system is a what? What you call it?
It's a generating battery, a self-generating battery.
A self-generating battery. So now this sun, you're looking at it differently. This is free energy hitting this bio machine, and that gives your digestive system a chance to work differently. That's something that you must feel on your own. It gives it a chance to work differently. You'll feel differently. You'll love it. You'll be a whole lot more happier. It deals with your emotions a lot better. And of course, it affects your mental thinking because mind-body connection. If your body's not hurting, you're going to have a good day.
Right. And if you're not emotionally hurting, you're going to have a good day, you know.
You're going to have a good day.
And if you're not physically hurting because you've eaten too much,
oh man, you're going to have a good day.
You have a good day. Yeah. You know, I went on a walk
Wow.
the other day with somebody who was walking with me, and they weren't able to make it up the hill I did. And I said, oh, we lost visual on you. Yeah, there you are.
All right, there we go.
And they weren't able to make it up the hill with me. And they said, oh, well, I just ate. I just had a really heavy meal. So think about that. You eat a really heavy meal. You can't actually properly function and move your body in the way that you can. It's not optimal, right? So everybody,
Absolutely.
People who exercise or, you know, run long distance or cycle, you know, you have to eat a tiny amount.
Yeah.
Or you won't be able to perform.
Look at that athletic mind coming into it. See, it all goes together. So even on the Breatharian path, I did a mini video yesterday where I was talking about you're picking up this therapy of not eating, you know, fasting in your lifestyle, giving your system a break. But if you're going to eat foods, we heard that knowledge where if you eat this foods go to this organ, this food go to this organ. You know, we got that knowledge, but very few master it to really see those changes. But you can master it when you start paying attention to what you eat, how you feel, and also when you eat makes a difference. Set times and cycles. This brings you back again. Oh my gosh. So that overeating and she's about to go walk the hill, couldn't do it at that time.
Couldn't do it. I was empty, they weren't, and they couldn't keep up.
Oh my gosh. And that was the one thing when I was here in India last year. I had this big retreat. So the next day we was going to walk this mountain. Now, of course, you can tell the people anything. Oh, I don't eat. Okay, we got that part. You don't know what somebody's doing. But now we walked this big mountain. We stayed the night up there and came back. And I didn't know how closely I was being watched. But this young boy said, now you caught my attention. Just for you not eating nothing and made it up that hill with that backpack on and everybody else was taking water, you got my attention. I don't care what you do after this. That caught my attention because I was empty, had a lot more strength. I was used to it. It didn't mean nothing. You're a whole nother vehicle.
You are a whole other vehicle. Absolutely. And I love that you were talking about how different foods, you know, are for different organs in the body, because you can do the same thing with energy. And that takes it back to the beginning of the video, what we were talking about. You can just take your energy and place it in different organs, and you can vitalize those areas that way. So you learn how to feed your body with your consciousness, with your energy, instead of feeding your body with food.
This is the ultimate. Now I'm glad you said that. When I first started the journey, I had this community center. Back then they had this machine called the harmonic translator. And I guess you put your thumb in it, you hook it up to your computer, and it will show you your aura coming off your body. It's reading it. Just by you putting your thumb there, it's reading your whole aura, how it looks on you. And it's showing you the places where there's blockages at. Now they had this technology over 20 years ago, even before then. And then it will show you the right mineral or vitamin or whatever that's needed to clear that blockage, right? But it's not saying go get it. You get the frequency of it and send it to your body.
There you go.
It's been out. A lot of people are really late, not only to the external technology on what you can do. Your mind can bring the frequency on what you need.
Yes, you don't need that machine to dial the frequency in for you. Do it yourself. Have you ever had pain and sat down to do any energy running meditation, and all of a sudden you realize your pain has lifted?
Absolutely. That's awesome.
Did you know that Reiki works really well on pain? Why is that? It's energy, because you're clearing the body with energy. You can do this yourself.
Absolutely. This is what it's all about. And like I usually say all the time, you just gained a lot of self-empowerment where you can learn how to heal yourself.
Yeah.
You could do a lot of things in life now. Now, we ain't say you'll fall into an old habit again and stuff like this. But if you did do it, you know why you did it. There's no excuses. And then you know how to get right back out of it. Because you just gained the knowledge that this is all energy. It's going to be moved. And let me go ahead and do this. You got energy all in your hands. That's what you're doing when you're Reiki. You're putting your hands on you and you're channeling it, breaking up blockages, getting stuff moving, and you start feeling more relieved and feeling better.
Right. You're channeling it with intention.
with intention.
So you do that for
Wow.
yourself as well. So the Breatharian path is really a path of being an energy master, a
Yes,
master of your own body and your own energy fields.
absolutely. That's what we say. A breatharian, basically, or someone living on prana, is a what? Master energy worker. You became good at it.
Very good.
Very, very good at it.
Very good.
And you'll get better as time goes.
Oh, absolutely. And it takes more than knowledge because it has to be experiential. So again,
Right.
I'm going to repeat, you can't learn this from watching our videos. You can't learn this from reading books. You know, we're going to give you the information, but you have to put it in practice. You have to start cleaning the body physically. You have to start working through your emotions. You have to start putting your consciousness and meditating and qigong and reiki and all that stuff that you love. Once you're hooked in, you don't have to do all that stuff. You're hooked in. You're a self-generating organism. That's the way you're naturally designed. Now, not everybody is going to be drawn to this path, right? But for those of you who are watching this who are drawn to it, this is your natural state.
Absolutely. And what they call it is let me get this word right, somatic knowledge. Somatic knowledge is the knowledge inside. You got the external knowledge. I forgot what they give that. But yeah, there is a knowledge inside you, a knowing. That's why the old saying was, know thyself is to know God, or know thyself is to know the universe. Self-knowledge is very, very powerful, and it's in you. But you got to start doing the work to unravel, just like an onion, peeling it layer by layer so you can break up blockages, get healing, and you'll learn more and more because you are consciousness. So we're using these different words, throwing them around. You're totally pure consciousness.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely. And, you know, just reflecting back on what we were talking about with the digestive system being a battery. Did you know that you can activate, well, I know you know this, Elitom, but you can activate and vitalize and fuel your digestive battery by breathing into it?
Absolutely.
So this is why low belly breaths are so important. Now, you may not notice the difference in this now, but when you start doing the cleansing and you're empty and you start breathing into your belly, you will notice that your prana will increase, especially if you breathe with the intention that you just visualize your whole digestive system in like golden light, or just vibrating in light and energy like it would like an engine that's just lit up, you know. Visualize.
Breath work is very powerful.
It's very powerful.
Go ahead.
Oh, just breathing in and out of your belly, activating your digestive system right there. That is magic.
Yep. So look at these 3 keys: diet, exercise, and breath. Diet, exercise, and breath is very powerful. Breath is needed in this equation because you'll die quicker without breathing than you would eating or drinking. So in pranayama, that's what they call it over here in India, which means breath exercises. And there's so many different breath exercises. Even you got Wim Hof, you know, who's famous for different breath work, oxygenating the blood and stuff. You pick up some type of breath work regimen, you are going to transform yourself without a shadow of a doubt. Watch it when you put in your body, give you a good movement, you know, walking, whatever, to get your bubble, and do some breath work, you're going to transform.
And what you'll find on this path is the breath work will become natural. You won't have to sit down and do it unless you want to. It's a really nice high and it feels great and it's wonderful to put you right into a good meditation. But what you'll find is the more you're clear in your digestive system, and this is awakened and this is functioning the way it should be as the hybrid beings that we are, that you naturally start breathing from the belly. Most people are breathing up here in the chest, especially when you're in an anxiety state or a stress state, breathing up here. But when you are further on this path, you will notice you will naturally breathe out of your belly because you will naturally be activating your body battery at all times. At all times. I'm glad you brought that up. And when you see a baby, look when a baby's sleeping, his stomach is going in and out because it knows how to breathe. It's when it starts growing up, getting into adulthood, and most adults, through the stress, the eating, the lifestyle, the different jobs, the emotions, and all this other stuff, the breasts start rising.
And your life is over when you have the last breath. So when we use the word breatharianism, this is the right name for it. You're putting your breath, your consciousness back into the body instead of letting it go out. Bring it back into the body. Recharge yourself. Breathe through your feet. Breathe through your legs, your hips. Breathe through that, what you say, that generator, your self-generating digestive system. This is awesome.
Yeah.
It really does work like that. So a full intestine or an overweight intestine does work differently energetically than one that has little or nothing in it at all. Whole different ballgame. You give it that chance to work on that level. If you never give it the chance to work on that level, all of this is just mysticism to you.
Right.
That's why you got to come into it and get into your own self-realization where you see your own improvement step by step.
Yes, experience it, and start looking at your organs in a new light. Literally, pun totally intended.
And going back to the young woman who was doing intermittent fasting, I said, congratulations to you, because she loved it so much now. You know, she got that under her belt at a young age. And I had to tell her, usually when I travel, intermittent fasting is all around the planet. You know, on one level, I meet somebody who's doing it, but it's usually older people when they see their bodies change. So I gave her congratulations to be that young, to pick it up at that young. But she was glad to meet me that you can do other things too. So that opened up the whole shift.
You can do even more.
Even more. Human potential. This is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And it's a good feeling again, where you don't have no aches and pains in your body. You're feeling good. You're full of energy. You could do those things you thought you could never do. It brings you back. You can regenerate. This is human potential again, but you got to know that the road exists.
It does.
All you got to do is get on the road.
Yeah, get on the road. And it's such a bliss state, you know? It's
hit the road.
So happy and blissful. Not only do you feel great, but you feel great energetically and emotionally. It's like, wow, every day is amazing, you know?
Yeah. And then like in the medical field, they're telling you we got an electromagnetic field that comes off our body. And in religion, they used to call that an aura in spirituality, but now we're making more sense of it. But look at that word electrical. Here it is. It's extending from your body. So the more you strengthen that health-wise with the breath work, with what you put in your body, with the movement, it strengthens it. So when you're living this life, getting those things that you need, you're manifesting it a lot quicker. You know, the roof over your head. What job am I going to get now? What is going to be my livelihood? Whole different ballgame. What type of people are going to be attracted into my life? Oh man, it gets good.
It does get good. And I tell you, every time I sit down, I do some serious energy running meditations where I sit down for a solid, let's say 2 hours, and I'm in nature and I'm running energy. And, you know, I know it's increasing my auric field and my energy body because it very much extends beyond the body. It's big. It's
right.
Fill up a room, you know. Whenever I do that, I always come back home or turn on my phone when I'm done, and I have requests for Reiki sessions, consultations, classes. It's like business rolls in.
Yeah.
And I don't do it for that reason, but that's just the magnetism that's happening here. So if you want abundance in your life, this lifestyle is really abundant, and it's abundant in a way where it's in alignment with your higher purpose, your soul's work, in a way that serves other and yourself.
Right. And see, what this is like human feng shui. Feng shui is where a person is about to build their house, but now you want to build a house where you're getting the best energy flowing through there for your health. So a person might get their bedroom towards the sun and all of this, or a business, or if even starting a neighborhood. People will actually pay for a feng shui master who got this knowledge, put this in the best area so I could be prosperous. So when you're dealing with your body now, this is like you're living a feng shui lifestyle. I'm putting myself in the best environment, best situation, best thought process, best clothes on my body. And I don't mean expensive clothes. I mean clothes where your pores can breathe and stuff like that. And that will bring prosperity to you just because you're in the right bringing that to you, you're getting everything from the universe that you need.
Absolutely, because the universe is abundant. You know, the whole idea of like this competitive thinking between, you know, people who do the same thing, it's no, let all of that go. That's again another limiting belief system. The universe is abundant. You are abundant. And Elitom, I love the idea of personal feng shui. I think that's so great. And you know what's really cool about feng shui is the way to activate a corner in your house is with crystals, stones, water fountains, plants, certain images. Exactly. And we can activate our bodies in the same way. Be around plants, be around the air. Yeah. Have the jewelry on that calls to you. The same thing.
Same thing. This is feng shui.
Yeah.
Everything has meaning.
Yeah.
Why you wear that? Even my sandals I got on, I got copper up under it. So it could bring the electric. That's how you thinking now. I want to live the best position possible. I'm feng shui myself.
Oh my gosh. Next time, let's talk about the right clothing.
Oh, that's a big one. I love it.
Let's do that.
This is awesome.
Talk.
Absolutely, which is nourishment.
Yeah.
We got to look at it.
It affects your energy.
Yep. That's what it boils down to. See, we are energy beings. So even if you love to eat and you're eating so much and you're looking like you're stuck, don't look like it's a problem with you. You're so much an energy being. That's the only outlet it had. And we're in this new experiment now on the planet because we had ancestors that didn't have these refrigerators like we got now, these freezers. So even when I grew up, we had extra freezers in the basement just because of a rainy day. You understand? So when I got married, the first thing I did was bought this big freezer because that's how I grew up. We got to always have food here for a rainy day. Overpack it. If you don't need it, freeze it just so we can have it. And then if you take food out, you make sure you replace it. That's what cycle we're living in. But the dividends I paid from it, my weight began to get won't. And then my health began to feel a certain way.
That's limited thinking too. If you have to stock up like that, you're in a limited thinking. If I don't have this, something bad's going to happen to me.
Right.
Like, then put limits and you don't open yourself up to the abundance and the flow of receiving when you need it. And that's a very important frequency to be in, a mindset and perspective to be in. I can't emphasize that enough.
Now, some 30 years later, here I am living as a breatharian. I had the opportunity to live in a cave for 7 months, and I didn't have to think about a refrigerator, didn't have to think about a stove, didn't think about how I'm going to get my food. I was living, that's what I said, I'm living in heaven. Mm-hmm. The air was there, pure. You're looking out over everything. I'm looking out over the Atlantic Ocean. But you were able to do that because you put your potential to the challenge. You don't have to think of that limited way. You could go anywhere and be happy.
We are truly limitless beings.
Absolutely.
Totally free. Liberation. That's what we're going for here with this path. Total liberation.
Mm-hmm. That's what Buddha was talking about. Liberation, relieving suffering. And all we did was create the Eightfold Path, and we're manifesting it. See, a lot of this stuff is already rolled out. Like we was talking about in the last talk about the yoga system. It's already in there. We just took the roof off of it now and manifesting it. So just like what Buddha talked about, the Eightfold Path, and you go to Egypt and you look at the hieroglyphics. When I see the hieroglyphics, it's all written on the wall already. You got your jade pillar that represents the spinal cord. And look at that word Djed, D-J-E-D. That's where they got the word Jedi from. They changed around the words, you know, working with the Force in Star Wars. All this is talking about the same thing. It's been here. All we're doing is just picking up the pieces, coming back into it, coming back into the land of Atlantis, the time of Lemuria.
Even higher.
We don't have to go back.
Even higher than that. I think they destroyed themselves.
Yeah.
So it was even higher, even higher.
Right. We don't want to go back to the destructive state. Not at all.
No, it's all ascension from here on out.
All ascension.
And it starts with the body. It starts from within.
This is so awesome. And another thing I want to bring up is I'm so glad just for me personally taking this path. Like I said, being some of the first fruits now on this path, of course, we went through the laughter, the scorn, the unbelief. But now when you start staying on this path and don't worry what nobody else saying, they start looking at you over a period of time. And I do see people that I met way back then, and you know, you got social media now, and it's a shame that they're having these hospital trips taking place that I notice unnecessary. And it is really something to see. So I'm so glad I took this path. And wherever you at, if you're watching this broadcast, start, if you don't have aches and pains right now, stay in a preventative mode. Don't wait till it happens. Don't wait till the car breaks down for you to go get it checked on. And if you're having trouble with the vehicle, get encouragement to pick yourself up, go slowly, and start making these changes to watch yourself heal. Yep. Wow.
A little bit.
This is awesome.
A little bit every day.
Little bit at a time.
Yeah. Stay consistent. What a fantastic talk today. Oh my gosh. So high vibe and so
like good. Always.
Like always.
Right. We got a lot to get off our chest.
So good. So good. So I hope this helps kind of wake everybody up a little bit in terms of the potential. And just remember that we have our brains, we don't even know what it does. Our DNA, we don't even know what it does. Our pineal gland, we don't even know what it does fully, right?
Right.
Remember that and realize you are so much more than you have allowed yourself and that you've been conditioned to believe. So now
that is so awesome.
Of just stepping into your fullness and stepping into your true light and your potential as a spiritual, energetic human being. I like to call that a luminous, what is it? Homo luminous? That's it.
Homo luminous.
Yeah, we're going from
Homo luminous
to Homo luminous.
Homo luminous rectus. No, I'm throwing words out there.
We're already standing tall.
Yeah, la la.
There we go. Awesome.
This is so wonderful. Once again, we enjoyed you. We love you, and keep up the good work and keep going strong.
Higher and higher. We love you. Bye.
Bye-bye.